Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my story of losing my mom as a teenager. I'm super duper nervous for some reason to tell this story because I don't talk about it often. Like I tell people, my mom's no longer here, but I don't actually tell the story of what happened or, how I cope with it or whatever. So I'm nervous. So I'm praying that I don't be all over the place. A little backstory is that I am 24 years old. I was 17 years old when this happened. Growing up, my mom had two children, so it's me and my sister who is 1 year older than me. So growing up, we would kind of bounce from home to home. Like, we stayed with so many different people, but we mainly stayed with my dad and my granddad. My mom had a weird relationship with my dad. Like, they weren't together, but they stayed together for a lot of years. Like, they stayed in the same home. But we bounced around to a lot of different homes. We never were stable at all. Like, I remember us having our own home once when we were little kids. We had our own home for a short period of time, and then we were evicted from that home. So we were back staying with family and all different kind of people, friends, my mom's boyfriends. Just it wasn't a good living situation. But we mostly, the main place we would bounce back and forth to is my dad and my granddad. So my mom, I guess you could say she was a single parent to me and my sister. But it was just like a very rocky childhood for me personally. My sister has a disability, so growing up, still to this day, it's I'm the older sister. Like I'm the older sister or whatever. So me, I have just a lot of responsibility on me as a child. I had a lot of responsibility on me. So fast forward a little bit. 2009, I was in Job Corps. And for those of you who don't know what Job Corps is, it's like a school where you learn a trade and you get your diploma and stuff, like a program away from home. Like, you stay on a campus. And I was in Flint doing this program, so I was away, but my mom ended up getting us a house. And I was 17 years old, and this was the first house, well, the second besides the first one we got evicted from when I was a little girl. But this would have been our first home, our first home that my mom got for us. And I thought that, we were going to be living in for years to come and all of that jazz. So it was December, the beginning of December, and my mom had called me in school, and she was like, we at our house, and da da da, and I was just so excited. The feeling that I had was just the feeling was the most overwhelming feeling. I just can't even explain it, because I'm like, okay, we finally have our own home, things are about to work out for. So my mom picks me up, because we would ride a Greyhound from school back home. So my mom picked me up from the Greyhound station on a Friday that I came home, and it was December 4th. And so we went to the house, we got to the house, and I was just so excited. It was such a nice house. It was huge, it was nice, it was in a nice area. It was a really nice house, and I was just so excited that, we were finally getting ready to enjoy our lives. We were finally getting ready to have a stable life that we can enjoy. And I was getting ready to finish school that April. yeah, that April of 2010. So I had a couple of months left in school, and I was like, okay, after school, we're going to have, you know, this, our life, finally. We're going to have our home. So the next day, no, okay, so let me backtrack. I'm going too fast, too far. So my mom will always have like these, okay, but she started having really bad pains in her left arm. She started having like really bad pains like in her left arm, and she would be taking like pain pills for that every single day, like ibuprofen, every single day for this pain in her arm. Going to the doctor, well, she told me that she went to the doctor and they told her that it was a chip bone in her, a chip bone in her shoulder. She told me that they told her it was a chip bone in her shoulder, and that she would have to get some type of operation or something like this. My mom was telling me, or cracking her bone or something like that. So all of this time that my mom was having these pains in her arm, that's what I thought was wrong. So December 5th comes, and we're in our new house. Everything is good. And my friend at the time, she was over at our new house, like helping me set up my room or whatever. And my mom, I think me and her had walked to the store or something like that. My mom went to the store after us to get cigarettes. So she walked to the gas station, and she ended up leaving her cell phone at home. She left her cell phone at home. And so, so her cell phone rung, and her friend was over, and her friend started screaming like, Dominique, 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 get down here. So my heart dropped, like, what is happening? You know, what is going on? So she's like, they said your mom is in the hospital, you have to get to the hospital now. Like that. So at this point, I'm like going nuts, like crying, freaking out, like running around looking crazy, like I'm going nuts at this point or whatever. So it was these guys there, and they were working on our house. So her friend ran outside, and her friend was like, can you guys please take us to the hospital? This time, like, I'm hysterical, like I'm so scared, I don't know what's happening. And we're from Detroit, so it's no telling what happened to your loved one when you get a call like that. I thought that she was like shot, or somebody like robbed her or stabbed her or something like that. So we get to the hospital. So they're like, we get to the hospital, we tell them, you know, we had a phone call. And so they had me sitting back in this room. You guys, this was the scariest time of my life. Like, my heart, I thought my heart would explode. So next thing I know, this doctor, the lady doctor, two nurses, and a man, like a pastor, had came into the room, and they were like, are you the oldest? No, they were like, is there anyone else that you can bring here? Because I was only 17 years old. So they were saying they needed someone. They wanted my sister, but like I said, my sister has a disability, so like her mindset was not 18 years old. So they were like, whatever. So they were like, sit down and stuff. And by this time I'm standing up, like I'm freaking out, like, no, what is going on? So they were like, we're sorry to inform you that we cannot resuscitate your mother. We cannot bring her back. She had a massive heart attack. I finally had like called my family and let everybody know. And they were like coming up to the hospital. Certain people were coming up to the hospital and stuff. And the whole time, like, oh, so I had to go. I have sisters on my dad's side, so their mom had came up to the hospital, and she ended up taking me back home to tell Devin. Devin is my sister, the older sister I was telling you guys about. So I had to go home and tell her, and she's like running out the house like, "Is Mama okay? Is Mama okay?" You know, like trying to figure out if our mama was fine. She was coming home, and so I had to tell her, "Oh my gosh, it was the hardest thing I had to do." And I just remember just feeling so lost, like just feeling just like numb almost, like the shock. I mean, I didn't know what to do. Like when people were coming to the hospital and hugging me and like telling me they're there for me and stuff, like none of that mattered to me. Like I could not focus on anything other than the fact like that he said my mom was gone. So moving on. Um, so we went back home, and my grandma, my uncle, and my aunt had came, which is my mom's mom and her sister and brother. And they came and they were like, you know, pack up you guys' stuff. Some of you guys' stuff. You guys gonna come out here with us. Come out to their house, and I just could not deal. Like I couldn't even wrap my mind around how my life had flipped. That we ended up staying out with my uncle and my aunt and my grandmother. And my mom did not end up having a funeral. She ended up being cremated, and she ended up um, just having like a memorial service because we didn't have money. Like she didn't have money because she didn't work, so she didn't have money to even have a proper burial. Like I never seen her after that day at the hospital. Like when they told me she was going, and they let me go in this little room to see her, and I seen her on the table. Whew, this is hard. This is hard to even tell you guys, but okay. Ooh, this is hard to even tell you guys. So I seen her like that was the last time I ever seen her on that table, like in this little room. Like they still had like the tube in her mouth, and it was just the worst thing could ever happen to me. So after this happened, like I guess you could say like I kind of became rebellious a little bit, because like my uncle is like my heart. Like I feel like he just like took us under his wing and just, I don't know, like I don't know where I would be if it wasn't for him, but he wanted me to stay out there and with them at their home, and I wanted to like go back with, I wanted to go stay with my friend, and just like do my own thing basically. Like I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I was just trying to find my way at this point, and he just wanted me out there with him so he can take care of me basically. But like I said, I kind of had to just make my own way throughout my whole life, so we were clashing at that point. And so I did end up going back to school. I did end up finishing school, Job Corps. And when I came back, I went to live with my friend, and like that, I think I stayed gone from my uncle and my family for like maybe like 6 months to a year. I think I can't even remember how long I stayed gone, but it was just like I was so lost, you guys. Like I cannot even explain like how lost I was. I was 17 years old. I had no clue how to even like grieve. I had no clue how to mourn. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I didn't know how to talk about it. Like anytime people would say like, sorry for your loss and stuff, like I would just brush it off. Like I couldn't even accept the fact that my mom was gone. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, I ended up like going back with my uncle and my family, and no, okay, backtrack a little bit. When this all happened, and I was in school, I remember getting into the shower every night, and I remember like covering my mouth, my washcloth or whatever, and just screaming, like screaming for dear life, because that's the only way I felt just like a little relief, is like screaming. And so I remember doing that every single night. And I remember when I went to back with my uncle, and I remember speaking with well, she's his wife now, but then she wasn't his wife. And I remember speaking with her, and I remember her explaining to my uncle, because my uncle just wanted so badly to be there for us. And I remember her explaining to him she's lost. She does not know, you know, like her mind is just lost basically, and she has to find her ways. She can't really explain to you how she feels. Like she just kind of voiced the way I was feeling. Like she was able to say, because she lost her mind, so she was able to say how I was feeling to my uncle basically. And I think that kind of like opened up a new door for our relationship, because he was able to listen to me more, I guess. So moving on, I just kind of like became distant from just life, like family or getting close to people. Like I just could not do it. Like I was so scared. Like I know now it probably was post-traumatic stress disorder, honestly, what I was experiencing, because I was so paranoid, you guys. Like if I did not talk to, like, somebody didn't answer the phone for me, I instantly assumed that they were dead, like that something happened to them where they were dead. I instantly assumed that if they did not answer the phone for me. That's how scared I was. Like I was just terrified of losing, like people dying on me after this happened. And so yeah, like moving on a little bit, I eventually I would cry out to God all the time. Like I didn't have a relationship with God, but I would cry out to him, because I felt like at that time he was the only one that can help me. So I would cry out to God. And when I moved with my uncle is a pastor. So like being around them introduced me more to God. Like I my relationship with God just got stronger. So then I met this guy. So he was into God, and he introduced me to God and started bringing me to church with him, which he's not my husband. But then, you know, so all of this stuff aided in helping me grow a relationship with God. And honestly, that relationship with God is the only thing that has brought me through over these past 7 years. That relationship with God is the only thing that has helped me and kind of like filled that hole in my heart and that void in my heart, is being able to go to God and just cry out to him and feel it, literally feeling him strengthen me. So salvation saved me. Like not just like God saved me, but it saved me. Like God really saved me from just my mind. And I tell God in my worship and in my praise all the time, thank you for my mind. Because people would think like, you know, thank you for my mind from, thank you for me not going crazy, which is true. But just thank you for bringing me through such a traumatic experience, bringing me through such a hard thing for anyone, but especially a 17-year-old girl with just no way of life, like no path. Just thank you, Lord, for just saving me is what I would just tell God. And still to this day, I just tell God, like, you brought me through something like that. You can bring me through anything. But just some advice on grieving or mourning is to not push the situation that happened to you to the back of the back burner, basically. Like, don't put it off and try to, which people do, and people probably will anyway, so I don't even know if this matters what I'm saying. But like, what I did is I became so consumed with school and just trying to stay distracted that I didn't deal with what actually happened. And I think it's important to deal with losing someone, or else you just will always have that locked away, and you will never you will never really be able to heal from it, dealing with it. What's another thing that helps me? Oh, and especially around like holidays and Mother's Day, and if you lost your father, Father's Day. But just staying surrounded with the people that you love and not trying to erase this person. Cherish their memory, cherish who they were as a person, talk about them, look at pictures of them, think about them in a positive light. Think about what they did to impact your life and try your best to do that for someone else. My mom was probably the funniest person, and anyone that knew her could agree. My mom was so funny. Like, she was just goofy, silly, just outgoing, funny lady, loud, just she was a funny lady. So I try to do that. Like, I'm that way. I get that. My mom and dad is funny, but I like try to just make people smile and just be as happy and like give those positive vibes to people. I try to do that, and I don't think about I don't think about how hard my childhood was or the things she did wrong. I try to think about the things she did right, and I try to celebrate her life in that way. Also, I don't take life for granted. I don't take the people that love me for granted. And I tell them that all the time. I don't even know if people really understand. But I do not take that lightly when people say, Dominique, I love you, and they mean it genuinely. It's locked in my heart forever, because I know what it's like to lose someone you love so dearly. So I cherish the ones that I have that love me dearly, and I cherish that love. Like, that's what I thrive off of. What's something else that I've learned? Take it day by day. Don't think that you're going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be okay. You may wake up like me. Some days I wake up and I'm just a mess, like crying my heart out because I miss her so much. You're going to always miss your parent, whoever you lost. You're going to always miss them. So that feeling will never go away, but it gets easier as time goes by. Well, for me. I'm not going to say what it does for other people, but for me, it gets easier. I kind of get her more in a positive light and just think like, man, I know she would be so proud of me. I know she's smiling like my baby girl made something of herself. She's doing good. But yeah, so I'm still a mess some days, a lot of days. I'm glad I was able to make it through telling you guys this story without becoming a total mess, because it's just a hard thing to go through and to live through. But it has surely taught me that life is not something to take for granted. Life is not something to just you let pass by. Take every day, live every day like it's your last. Live out your dreams. If you have dreams, make them happen. Live every day trying to make that dream happen. And I'm talking to myself right now. But live every day trying to make that dream happen. And even if that dream never came true, at least you tried. At least you put forth your best effort, and by putting forth your best effort, that dream is going to happen, even if it doesn't happen in the way that you feel like you thought it would happen. The best thing that I've gained over 7 years of not having my mom is having a relationship with Jesus Christ, receiving the Holy Spirit, and having salvation. That is the best thing that has ever happened to me in such a trying time. And I wonder sometimes, if my mom was still here, would I have went down this path? I don't know. But I know my mom prayed for me. I know my mom loved me. I know my mom adored me. And I feel the same way about her. And I still do. I still miss her. And I still love her dearly. And I'm always thinking of her. So if you guys are going through this, or you know someone that's going through this, share this video with them. And to the ones that is going through this, take my advice on the couple things that I said, that I've tried and that I've done, and I pray that they work for you. And yeah, so I guess this is where I am going to end this video. Live every day like it's your last. Love everyone that you have in your circle like it's your last time that you can love them. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sure it was quite lengthy. Thank you guys for supporting me. Make sure you subscribe if you're not, and I will talk to you all in the next video.